Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. And today we're going to be comparing a couple offerings from Spyderco and Buck. An unlikely pair, but you're about to see why. Let's check them out. If you haven't seen the new Buck 110 and 112 Slim Pro, you ought to check them out. With a few tweaks and upgraded materials, these knives are reimagining Buck's heritage models for the modern knife enthusiast. With the new changes to these knives, the natural competitive set is a little bit different than the classic 110 and 112, and we think the Spyderco Endura and Delica make natural competition. Both of these classic designs are of course lockbacks in nature, and if you look, their handle length and blade length are effectively identical, and that goes the same for the 110 and the Endura, as well as the 112 and the Delica. Moreover, their price points are very similar, so we're going to go through these knives feature by feature to see how they stack up next to each other. So we'll primarily be showing the Endura up against the 110, but all the points we're going to make apply exactly the same to the 112 and the Delica. As I mentioned before, the blade lengths are virtually identical. Hold them up right next to each other, however, and you can see that the Buck has a slight advantage in the actual amount of sharpened edge thanks to its belly. When it comes to steel, the Spydercos, of course, feature VG10 stainless steel, which is a very solid option. Gets very good, respectable edge retention, as well as excellent stainless capabilities as well. The Buck pulls ahead a little bit, however, thanks to the usage of S30V stainless steel, a fully modern particle steel that was actually the first steel developed specifically for cutlery, and you get an increase in edge retention that you can only really find on those powdered steels. That clip point blade on the 110 features a hollow grind, slices very well, but here's where the Spyderco shows its advantage, and that's when it comes to choice. You can get this in a few different grinds, both the full flat grind shown here as well as a saber grind. You can also get it with a partially serrated edge or a fully serrated edge, as well as in a Wharncliffe blade profile. And these are options you're just not going to see on the Buck at all. Furthermore, if you like the design of the Spyderco, you're not restricted to just that VG10 steel. Spyderco has long made it a habit to release these knives in sprint runs with some of the highest end steels available today. Next we come to blade deployment. And on the 110, we have dual thumb studs, which enables use for left-handers or right-handers. It's got decent action and opens very well. However, the Spyderco opens even more smoothly. And part of that's down to the spider hole here integrated into the blade. It's a little farther away from the pivot, allowing you to get better leverage on it. And we also have an adjustable pivot on the Spyderco, which is not something you're going to see on the Buck. Next we come to handle materials, and in a direct comparison, the Bucks certainly have the advantage here in terms of niceness. We have two different color micartas available, as well as black G10. The handle materials on the Spyderco is arguably not as nice, but you do get more grip. The bidirectional FRN scales provide plenty of traction, which is going to make it even better than the Bucks in wet weather environments. Of course, the theme of options continues with the Spyderco, and we've got a lot of upgraded options that you're not going to find on the Buck as well, including stainless steel, as well as Packawood handled versions with laminated HAP 40 steel that you can only find here at the Knife Center. Moving on to the pocket clip, you can see on the Spyderco that it is a 4-position design, meaning that there's plenty of options to suit any carry style. You can carry this on the left or right side, tip up or tip down, whatever your preference. For the Buck, it is a tip up only affair, but we do get a nice deep carry clip. It is reversible for left or right side carry as well. The other thing you won't see on this Buck is a lanyard hole, so if that's something you want, you're going to want to stick with the Spydercos. But thanks to its slim frame and that deep carry clip, it definitely carries a little more easily in your pocket, takes up just a little bit less room. Of course, the other differentiator between these knives is the country of origin. If you prefer your knives American made, the Buck is certainly going to serve you well. But the Japanese made Spydercos are made in Seki City, one of the cutlery capitals of the world, and the quality is beyond reproach. Truth is though, you can't really go wrong with either one of these great EDC designs. They're both very well made and can get just about any kind of work done. For most people in most uses, they really are interchangeable. However, if you do any sort of hunting, the Buck DNA is undeniable, and the 110 and 112 is definitely going to be a better option for skinning and game processing. The Spydercos, however, with their increased grip and the integrated thumb ramp behind the spider hole here, transition a little bit better to tactical roles than the Bucks will. Also, thanks to these versions with the full flat grind, they are going to do better as an impromptu kitchen knife if you need to use your folder for food prep. So as a direct comparison, these Buck models certainly have nicer materials and better steels, but the sheer variety on the Spyderco designs can't be discounted. It's almost impossible to pick a winner between these two, so that's where you guys come in. Make sure to let us know in the comments below which one of these designs you think is better and which one you would actually put your own money down on. Once you've commented, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well, because once you've done those two things, we're actually offering you a chance to win either one of these 110 Slim Pros or Endura knives. The full list of rules will be in the description below, so make sure to check those out and get your entries in before the contest closes. In the meantime, if you can't wait and want to get your hands on one of these great Buck 110 Slim Pros, 112 Slim Pros, or Spyderco Enduras or Delicas, make sure to click the link in the description below to head on over to KnifeCenter.com.